Welcome back to Creative Alternatives, the place where small ideas spark big changes. Today, we are exploring waste to wow, alternative solutions that transform the future. Imagine standing in a world where every piece of trash, every bottle, every faded wrapper, every forgotten scrap isn't something to throw away, but something to build with, to create from, to power our future. Imagine if the very things we discard became the foundation of a cleaner, wealthier, more innovative planet. That future isn't science fiction. It's already beginning. And the real question is, are we ready to shift from simply managing waste to transforming it into something extraordinary? Waste. It's the word no one wants to think about, yet it's the most universal product humans create. Every community, every city, every country wrestles with the pressure of overflowing landfills, polluted oceans, and toxic emissions. But where some see garbage, others see raw potential. They see untapped energy, new materials, emerging industries, and revolutionary ideas. That is the heart of transformation from waste to wow. To understand this shift, we first have to acknowledge the scale of the problem. Humanity produces billions of tons of waste each year, and much of it ends up in places it shouldn't, clogging waterways, poisoning soil, circulating in the atmosphere, or drifting across oceans in colossal gyres. The traditional model of take, make, use, toss is breaking. Our systems weren't designed for the sheer volume of disposable everything that modern living produces, but the crisis has triggered a powerful wave of ingenuity. Innovators, scientists, designers, and everyday citizens are rewriting the story of waste entirely. This transformation begins with something simple yet profound: a change in perspective. Waste is no longer the end of a product's life. It is just the beginning of a new cycle. Circular thinking challenges the long-held belief that materials lose value once they're used. Instead, it proposes that every item, no matter how insignificant, contains hidden value waiting to be unlocked. And this shift in perspective is spawning alternative solutions that reshape industries, economies, and even cultural habits. Take plastic, for example. Once hailed as a miracle material, it's now a notorious villain. But today, innovators around the world are turning plastic into possibilities. From recycled ocean plastic used in sneakers and high-end furniture to engineering companies transforming non-recyclable plastic into fuel, the narrative is changing. This isn't just recycling in the traditional sense, it's upcycling, taking a material and giving it a purpose greater than the one it originally had. Technology plays a starring role in this evolution. Advanced sorting systems powered by artificial intelligence can distinguish between materials faster and more accurately than human workers. Chemical recycling breaks down plastics to their molecular building blocks, allowing them to be remade like new. Agricultural waste becomes biodegradable packaging that naturally composts instead of lingering for centuries. What was once impossible is quickly becoming standard. But transformation isn't limited to plastic. Organic waste, food scraps, plant matter, and agricultural leftovers holds incredible potential. Every year, mountains of food waste rot away, releasing methane into the atmosphere. But now, businesses and communities are turning these scraps into rich compost, natural fertilizers, and even renewable energy through anaerobic digestion. What used to be garbage can now power homes, heat water, or grow more abundant crops. The cycle becomes regenerative, not destructive. One of the most promising developments is the rise of biomaterials. Scientists are growing alternatives to leather from mushrooms, making bricks from mycelium and agricultural waste, and creating bioplastics from algae that degrade naturally in weeks instead of centuries. Fango. These materials don't just replace conventional ones, they often outperform them. Stronger, lighter, cheaper, and dramatically more sustainable, they represent a future where nature and technology work in harmony. Communities are also stepping up in surprising ways. Grassroots initiatives convert discarded items into tools, toys, and art. Repair cafes teach people to restore broken electronics instead of dumping them. Fashion designers embrace zero-waste patterns and reimagine fabrics. At every level, creativity is reshaping the way we interact with the things we own. Yet the biggest breakthroughs aren't just technological, they're cultural. For decades, convenience drove consumption. Now, conscious choices are influencing market. Consumers want products that last, businesses that care, and systems that minimize harm. This shift in demand is pushing massive industries to rethink their strategies. Major corporations are investing in circular models, refill programs, take-back systems, and innovative packaging. Waste reduction is no longer a niche movement, it's becoming mainstream. Governments too are recognizing the value of redefining waste. Policies encourage recycling, restrict single-use plastics, and support green innovation. Cities are redesigning waste management systems to be more efficient, smarter, and more environmentally friendly. What began as small experiments are growing into global movements, but transforming waste doesn't just protect the environment, it drives economic opportunity. The circular economy, built on principles of reuse, repair, remanufacturing, and recycling, is projected to generate trillions of dollars globally. New careers emerge: materials engineers specializing in regenerative products, entrepreneurs building businesses from overlooked materials, technicians skilled in repair and repurposing. Waste becomes a resource. Landfills become mines. A burden becomes a blessing. Perhaps the most compelling part of this transformation is empowerment. Every individual has a role. From the choices we make at the store to how we sort our waste to the companies we support, each action contributes to the larger shift. Change doesn't require perfection, it requires participation. And while challenges remain imperfect systems, limited infrastructure, high costs for emerging technologies, the momentum is undeniable. The world is moving toward a future where the word obesity may no longer exist in the way we know it today. Instead, it becomes a gateway to invention. A spark for creativity, a source of energy, materials, and possibility. The journey from waste to wow is not just a technological revolution, it's a mindset revolution. It is the belief that the things we discard are not meant to disappear, they are meant to transform. They are ingredients for solutions we haven't yet imagined, stepping stones toward a cleaner, brighter, more resilient world. And as we continue exploring the alternative solutions shaping this future, one truth becomes clear: the power to transform our planet doesn't lie in what we throw away. It lies in how boldly we reimagine what waste can be. If the first step in transforming waste is recognizing its hidden value, the second step is rethinking the systems built around it. For decades, our waste management infrastructure has been built like a one-way street. Materials flow in, and once used, they flow out, usually to landfills, incinerators, or the environment. But new solutions are emerging that flip this system into a loop, where materials endlessly cycle and create value again and again. This shift isn't just about efficiency, it's about redesigning the future. One of the most groundbreaking approaches is the concept of zero-waste design. At its core, zero waste isn't about producing absolutely no waste, it's about engineering products and processes so that waste simply cannot exist. Think about a puzzle where every piece fits perfectly, nothing extra, nothing left over. Designers are applying this philosophy to everything from clothing patterns to manufacturing systems. In fashion, zero-waste patterns ensure that every cut of fabric is used, leaving no scrap. In product design, items are built from modular parts that can be easily repaired or replaced, extending their lifespan far beyond the typical throwaway cycle. But advanced design is only one piece of the puzzle. We also need infrastructure that supports circular systems. Many cities are experimenting with smart waste technologies that use sensors, data analytics, and automation to improve sorting, reduce contamination, and optimize collection routes. Imagine a recycling bin that automatically identifies materials, separating them for more efficient processing, or waste collection vehicles that adjust their routes in real time based on which bins are full, cutting down emissions and costs. These innovations turn waste management into a precise, efficient, intelligent network rather than a chaotic, guesswork-filled process. Even landfills, often seen as the final stop for waste, are being reinvented. Some modern landfills are designed with gas collection systems that capture methane produced by decomposing waste and convert it into electricity. Others incorporate bioreactor technologies that accelerate decomposition, reducing the amount of space needed and increasing energy yield. Instead of dead zones, landfills are slowly becoming energy farms, proving that transformation can happen anywhere, even in the places we least expect it. Energy generation from waste is emerging as one of the most promising fields. Technologies like waste-to-energy incineration, pyrolysis, and gasification are allowing us to recover energy from materials that can't be recycled traditionally. But these systems have evolved dramatically from their earlier pollutive versions. Modern waste-to-energy plants operate with strict filtration systems and high temperatures that minimize emissions. Pyrolysis, which breaks down materials in the absence of oxygen, can convert plastics into fuel without producing harmful byproducts. Gasification transforms organic waste into syngas, a versatile energy source that can power engines, generate electricity, or serve as a building block for new chemicals. Instead of burying waste, we're learning to harness it. Alongside technological solutions, community-level innovations are playing a significant role. In many regions, decentralized waste systems are proving more effective than large, centralized ones. Small-scale composting hubs in neighborhoods reduce transportation emissions and return nutrients directly to local soil. Community recycling centers create jobs while ensuring materials are sorted correctly. Tool libraries let people borrow equipment instead of buying new, reducing resource consumption. These systems bring sustainability closer to home, making it tangible and accessible. One of the most exciting emerging trends is urban mining. For decades, landfills have been treated as the endpoint of materials, but they're actually treasure troves of valuable resources. Electronic waste, for example, contains gold, silver, copper, rare earth elements, and other precious metals. Mining these from discarded electronics is not only more environmentally friendly than traditional mining, but often more cost-effective. Cities are beginning to view themselves as above-ground mines, rich with materials just waiting to be recovered. Urban mining recycles not just products, but entire industries, pushing us toward a future where resources never truly run out. However, technology and infrastructure alone cannot solve the problem. Human behavior and cultural norms play a huge role in shaping waste systems. This is where education and awareness become critical. When people understand the impact of their choices from the packaging they buy to how they sort their waste, they become active participants in the change. Schools are integrating sustainability into their curriculum. Businesses are training employees on waste reduction strategies. Social campaigns are shifting mindsets from a throwaway culture to a resource culture. The more informed people are, the more powerful the movement becomes. Businesses, too, are evolving rapidly. Many major companies are embracing circular business models where the success of a product doesn't end at the point of sale. Instead, companies take responsibility for the entire life cycle of their product. Some offer repair programs, helping customers fix items instead of replacing them. Others operate take-back initiatives where used products are collected and turned into new ones. For example, electronics companies may recover valuable metals from old devices to create the next generation of technology. Fashion brands may recycle worn-out clothing to make new fabric. This approach isn't just sustainable, it's strategic. It reduces costs, stabilizes supply chains, and strengthens customer loyalty. Packaging, a significant contributor to global waste, is undergoing a revolution as well. Traditional packaging is being replaced with alternatives made from seaweed, cornstalk, bamboo, sugarcane fiber, and other biodegradable materials. Some packaging dissolves in water, others compost within weeks. Refillable systems are becoming more common, with companies offering bulk stations or reusable containers that customers can return, refill, and reuse infinitely. These solutions not only reduce waste, but also eliminate the reliance on petroleum-based plastics. Another area of rapid change is construction. The building industry is one of the largest generators of waste, but innovative materials and design techniques are rewriting its future. Bricks made from plastic waste, concrete infused with recycled glass, and insulation derived from agricultural byproducts are proving that sustainable construction is both possible and practical. Buildings are being designed with disassembly in mind, so their materials can be reused or repurposed at the end of their life cycle. Instead of demolishing structures and sending debris to landfills, we can harvest buildings like we harvest crops carefully, intentionally, and with minimal waste. Despite all these advancements, challenges persist. Contamination in recycling streams remains a major issue. Not all communities have access to advanced waste systems. Some technologies are still too expensive for widespread use, but each challenge is an opportunity for innovation. And every year, the technologies become cheaper, the solutions become smarter, and the global commitment grows stronger. The shift from waste to wow isn't just an environmental necessity, it's a creative renaissance. It's an era where artists, engineers, policymakers, and entrepreneurs collaborate to redefine what's possible. The solutions emerging today show us that waste doesn't have to be a crisis, it can be a catalyst. If transforming waste systems shows what's possible today, then imagining the next era of innovation shows us what's coming tomorrow. The future of waste transformation is not just about better recycling bins, smarter technologies, or greener materials. It is about rethinking our relationship with the physical world, how we create, consume, and regenerate. It is about designing systems where waste becomes impossible because everything has a purpose, a value, and a pathway back into the cycle. And right now, some of the most groundbreaking shifts are emerging at the intersection of technology, ecology, and human creativity. One of the most revolutionary frontiers lies in biomimicry, the practice of learning from nature's genius. In ecosystems, nothing is wasted. Every fallen leaf becomes nutrients for the soil. Every organism's byproduct becomes another's resource. Imagine a world where our industries operate the same way. Researchers are already studying how organisms break down materials, how forests cycle nutrients, and how coral reefs build strong structures using minimal resources. These lessons are inspiring innovations such as self-healing materials, biodegradable electronics, and packaging that grows like plants. Instead of forcing nature to adapt to human systems, we are beginning to adapt our systems to nature's wisdom. Artificial intelligence and automation are also accelerating the transition to a waste-free future. Machine learning systems can predict waste generation patterns, optimize material flows, and detect recycling contamination with unmatched precision. Factories of the future may operate like closed ecosystems, AI identifying material inefficiencies, robots disassembling products, and smart systems continuously reallocating resources. Picture a facility where discarded electronics are instantly scanned, their components sorted, their metals extracted, and their plastics transformed into new products within hours. This isn't far off. Prototypes of robotic recycling systems already exist. Beyond cities and factories, new innovations are emerging in agriculture and food systems. Food waste remains one of the biggest global challenges, but futuristic solutions are transforming it into a resource powerhouse. Vertical farms powered by compost-generated heat, insects bred to convert organic waste into sustainable animal feed, and fermentation systems that turn leftovers into high-value ingredients all represent a shift toward regenerative agriculture. In a world where climate resilience is essential, these solutions reduce emissions, enhance soil health, and create new economic models for farmers and communities. In the energy sector, the idea of circularity is rapidly gaining traction. Renewable energy technologies, such as solar panels and wind turbines, traditionally face challenges at the end of their life, where to dispose of them and how to reuse their components. But companies are already engineering solar panels designed for easy disassembly, turbines with recyclable blades, and batteries made from organic materials that avoid toxic chemicals. Even more groundbreaking are emerging concepts like microbial fuel cells, where bacteria generate electricity from waste, and biofactories where microbes convert CO2 and organic scraps into fuels, chemicals, and bioplastics. Energy, instead of being extracted from finite resources, can be grown, regenerated, and continually cycled. The fashion industry, long criticized for wasteful practices, is becoming an incubator for radical transformation. Designers are experimenting with lab-grown leather, fiber-to-fiber recycling, and clothing made from orange peels, pineapple leaves, and even milk proteins. Digital fashion, where garments exist only in virtual form, is reshaping consumer behavior by offering style without physical waste. The rise of clothing rental platforms, on-demand manufacturing, and repair culture hints at a future where fashion is expressive, sustainable, and deeply circular. Architecture and urban planning are evolving in harmony with this movement. Cities of the future may operate like living organisms, buildings that capture rainwater, roofs covered with gardens that compost organic waste, and districts where heat, energy, and materials circulate in closed loops. Wastewater treatment facilities are being reimagined as resource recovery plants, extracting nutrients, heat, and clean water from what was once considered unwanted. Construction materials are being designed for deconstruction, enabling cities to grow and change without leaving behind mountains of debris. This vision of a regenerative city is not just theoretical. Pilot projects are already underway in multiple countries, proving that urban life can be both modern and ecologically balanced. Economic systems are shifting as well. Traditional models prioritize endless growth, often at the expense of resources. But circular economies measure success differently by how efficiently materials are used, how long products last, and how little waste is generated. Governments are beginning to integrate circular metrics into policy, encouraging businesses to design for reuse, repair, and regeneration. Entrepreneurs are finding new opportunities in waste streams, turning discarded fishing nets into carpets, transforming industrial byproducts into paints and pigments, and repurposing demolition waste into new building materials. Entire industries may soon emerge that rely not on extracting virgin resources, but on harvesting the resources already circulating in our cities. Culturally, a powerful shift is underway. Younger generations are embracing minimalism, sustainability, and conscious consumption not as trends but as values. Social media movements celebrate creative reuse, DIY repairs, and thrift culture. Makerspaces and community workshops offer tools and training that empower people to reinvent items instead of discarding them. This cultural pivot is essential because no technology can succeed if people are unwilling to participate. The transformation we're witnessing is as much social as it is scientific. The future also holds bold possibilities that challenge the limits of today's imagination. Picture satellites that collect space debris and repurpose it into components for new spacecraft. Envision ocean cleaning drones that convert marine plastics into durable construction materials. Consider smart packaging that dissolves after use, leaving no trace behind. These innovations may sound ambitious, but so did recycling a century ago, renewable energy 50 years ago, and lab-grown materials a decade ago. The future of waste is defined by creativity, not constraint. But even as we embrace futuristic solutions, the heart of the movement remains simple. Respect for the materials we use. Resources are not infinite. The things we hold in our hands, whether a plastic bottle, a piece of fabric, or a metal tool, represent energy, labor, and natural elements. Treating them as disposable treats the planet as disposable. The shift from waste to wow is ultimately a shift in mindset, an understanding that every object carries potential long after we stop using it. The transformation journey also calls for global cooperation. Waste does not respect borders. It drifts across oceans, blows across landscapes, and accumulates in shared spaces. Countries must collaborate on recycling standards, share technological advancements, and support nations that lack the infrastructure for modern waste systems. A global challenge requires global unity, and collective innovation can accelerate progress faster than isolated efforts ever could. As we look toward the future, one truth becomes clear. The solutions we need are already within our reach. They are in the minds of young innovators, the hands of community builders, the labs of scientists, and the dreams of designers. They are in the small actions people take every day, choosing reusable over disposable, repairing instead of replacing, supporting sustainable brands over careless ones. The transformation from waste to wow isn't a single invention or project. It is a movement, a shift in how we see the world. A revolution built from ideas, determination, and imagination. And as more people join this movement, the future becomes brighter, cleaner, and full of possibility. The waste of yesterday becomes the wonder of tomorrow. The challenge becomes the opportunity, and the discarded becomes the extraordinary.